Hey folks, good afternoon, and I thought I would do a sort of video based on my rank experience. So as the title says, maybe there'll be a picture on the screen. I reached Master Tier in King of the Hill Gears 5. Great news, I hear you say. But there were some major frustrations along the way, and now that I've played a lot of ranked and I've played through the systems and the issues and the good parts and the bad parts, I think I'd do a little quick video and just update you with how it went and just chat about ranked for 10. Originally, people would say, I'm going to quit Gears 5, the ranking system sucks. And I would think to myself, well, just play the game because you enjoy it. Like, if you're good at the game, you're good at the game, you know you are, you don't need an ELO to tell you that. But since playing it, I've been a ladder guy myself. I like StarCraft, I like League and all that sort of ladder-based games. I understand the need and the enjoyment of progressing through a ladder system. And in these modern games, they're pretty much needed, aren't they, to keep the player interactive and sort of engaged and playing the game with a, how do we say it, a desire to keep wanting to play rather than just fun. There's an extra element of you're making progress towards a rank you're improving. Gears 5 system wasn't that for me. I found it very frustrating, and I found it difficult to justify in ranked at times. I'm going to not be frustrated, I'm just going to be calm. So, for me, in an ELO system, you need a few things. You need to know what you're putting in, meaning how hard do I have to try to win? You know, what's the game quality going to be like, meaning who am I playing against? Who could potentially be on my team? Who could I potentially be against? Am I against people of my similar ELO? Is it variety? Is it stacks I'm against? Can I have only duo queue? Is it solo queue? Is it stacks v stacks? What's happening here? Once that's all sorted out and you know in your mind what you can sort of expect when you hit that play button, you need to know what can you win. Is it skins? Is it ELO? Is it ladder? Is it unlocks? Is it just progression? Is it skill-based progression? What can you potentially earn through the effort you're going to put in? Is it 20 points a win? Is it, am I expected to get on average 200, and if your MMR's bad you lose maybe a bit and you win maybe 180? You know, what can I expect to get out of an average game? And then what can I expect to lose? Do I need to stay in my division for the skins? Do I need to stay in Masters? Say like League of Legends, to get your border you need to be in Masters at the end of the season? Or is it, you know, where you reached highest, which is a system I like? You've also got, you know, how many points do I expect to lose? If somebody quits and it's a 4v5, what am I expecting here? If it's a 5v5, what do I expect to lose in an even game in a 5v5? And all of these things a good ELO system should intuitively let you know. Maybe they don't technically say it out loud, but after playing for a few games, you should start to get a gist of what's happening. For example, League of Legends, you gain about 20 for a win. If you keep winning a lot, your MMR goes up and you'll start to gain 22, 25, 30. Then all of a sudden, when you do lose a game, you only lose 15. When you're at your ELO and you are playing against people of similar skill and you're winning and losing 50-50 and you are technically in the correct ELO, you gain about 20 for a win, 19 to 18 for a loss, and you climb ever so slightly going 50-50. But not really, you do need to get a higher win percentage to climb. In Gears 5, I did not know what I was playing. There were games, so I'll like run through some of the frustrations. There were some games where it was 4v5 and I would try my hardest against a 4-man stack of Masters players. We won the game versus a 4-man stack as the 4v5 team, and I lost 1 point. And it was an absolute sweat fest of like an hour-long King of the Hill grudge match. I got nothing. There were some games where it was 5v5. I felt like the other team were a really good team. I was playing particularly bad. And I ended up gaining 10, 20 points. There were some times where I hard carried 5v5s and gained 0-0-0. Now, one of the major issues I had with the game was quitters. When somebody quits out in a 4v5, I couldn't earn points. Now, I've been told you can, but in my experience, I went 47 wins, 7 losses, and I've gone down in ELO. I started at Diamond 310% when I started counting. I've won 47 games, 7 losses, and I have dropped to think it's 28-30% Diamond 3. I gain roughly 0 points for a win. Every 3 victories, I was gaining normally 0 and 0, and then occasionally I'd get a 2-pointer. It was very frustrating. Then I would lose a random game. I would have a guest on my team. I don't believe guests should be in ranked or anything like that. But I would have a guest on my team, and I'd get frustrated because they just obviously weren't performing, and it's not their fault. A guest or a bronze player shouldn't really be in my game, but they were allowed to be in it, and they quit out. And then we got in the situation again with the 4v5 or a 3v5, where they were just allowed to quit for free. In my eyes, if somebody quits out of an elo system, they should take all of the hitting, take all of the elo losses, and the game should become free to leave. Once somebody quits in a 4v5, they take the elo loss, and the game says after 2 minutes of someone being idle or AFK, this game's now free to leave, do you want to leave? That would help a lot of frustration. Again, I didn't know what I was playing with. Sometimes I was playing all with Masters players, all with Diamond players. Sometimes I was playing all with Bronze players. I had games that were almost 100,000 elo, the 2 teams, and I also had games that were 36,000 elo, and I was 20,000. So my other 4 teammates must have been 4k, which I don't even know what that is. So when I queue for a game of Gears 5, I feel like I'm rolling the dice, and I don't know what I'm going to get. Is it going to be Masters v Masters? I understand you've got like a small player base, so like the matchmaking system can't be that tight. You can't do Master versus Master, Diamond versus Diamond, but we should have a range, surely. Surely, as a Diamond player, I should be playing with Golds at worst, you know? Let's widen it. I'm being fair here as well. I would say Diamonds versus Onyx or something, but let's be fair, Golds. You know, I shouldn't be playing against Bronzes and Silvers and people that are unranked. There are no level accounts coming into ranked, which I just believe causes issues because people can make Game Pass Smurf accounts, which is a problem. I believe that you should have to reach a certain rank on an account to play ranked. So yeah, the 4v5 experience was incredibly frustrating because you never really won points and I always lost points. On the flip side, when I played really well and I made somebody quit, I also gained no points, and I ended up in this situation where I was having to try hard enough to not lose points, because if you lose a 5v4, you lose a big chunk of points. But I also couldn't gain any points, so I was trying to try hard, so I was sweating on 4 players, which obviously makes them feel unfun. They're outnumbered and been cross-lanced and sweated on, and I've got to do all that and I don't gain anything, so I was kind of walking around the map like, I don't gain anything, I probably should just quit the game, because you don't lose any elo for quitting the game. So I probably should have just quit and stopped wasting my time. It felt like a large portion of my games were a complete waste of time, and that's not good. Again, 47 wins, 7 losses, gone down in elo. I peaked at Masters somehow by some miracle. I had 2 games that just randomly gave me like 100 points. That tipped me into Masters. Ever since then, it's been 1 point for a victory, you know, 26 for a loss or something. So I don't know what I'm getting out of the system. I don't know who I'm going to play against. I don't know really what the quality of game is to be expected. Sometimes I roll in there, games feel even, it's back and forth, and it's a good game. And then after that I get no points for a win, so that feels bad. Sometimes the games aren't uneven, or I said the games aren't even, they're pretty uneven. I play pretty poorly, and I'll gain like 15 points, and I'll be like, oh. Then sometimes I'll win 4v5 against Masters players and I'll lose points. That's happened on stream. So it was just a very frustrating experience, and I think in elo system you should know what you're putting in, the quality of game you're expecting, and obviously what you are sort of putting on the line. Are you going to lose elo if you do poorly on this or that? I think it's difficult to create a King of the Hill elo system where there's this pie of players. Like if I'm 20,000 and everyone else has to fill in the gaps, they're obviously going to be less skilled players. Because King of the Hill is all about numbers. There's not much you can do on your own against a semi-competent team. So this idea that just because there's 2 players that are like 20,000, everyone else should be awful, again, doesn't really make much sense. That might work in execution, because you could carry, slay some people and then they're eliminated, but obviously people respawn, there's rotations. I don't like the idea of, you know, that pie system for King of the Hill. I think the system for me should be very simple. You gain a flat amount of points for a victory, regardless of how you perform. You gain in 50 points for a victory. So if you know you play ranked and you win, you're getting 50 points at minimum. That's it. You're always going to get 50. Not 0, not 1, not 2, not 12. About 50 points. If you lose, you're going to lose about 50 points. Now, the more you win, the bigger that number goes up. Your secret MMR climbs. And all of a sudden, you win a game, you get 80 points. You're on a bit of a streak. You're 10-0. And you finally lose. But because you're a consistently good player and you've won 10 matches, you're not losing 50 all of a sudden. You're losing 40. And that climb becomes a bit quicker. Right now, points seem completely random. Matchmaking seems completely random. I've got guests, I've got brand new accounts, I've got Smurfs, I've got Masters players. Which is fine. If it wants to be all random, hey, it's all random. But the points and the outcome of the game shouldn't be random. I think we need to simplify it. It's way too complicated. The captures do this, assists do this, picks do this, you know, support play, pressure, DPS, numbers, damage done per minute does this. It gives you X points, 80-20, you know, ranked win / performance. It's all getting a bit too complicated. And an ELO system shouldn't be complicated because it's meant to be played by the average player. Which sounds baffling. An ELO system played by the average player? Yeah. ELO systems are pretty much designed for low ELO players to feel a sense of progression. This system doesn't have enough progression for me because of the random nature. I think it should be solo duo only, which helps break up the stacks and it helps just make games faster and it makes it less frustrating because you're not bumping into stacks all of a sudden. So solo duo only, you have to be a certain rank to play ranked. And on top of that, you know, again, a set outcome. Now, ideally you have golds versus golds, bronze versus bronze, but we don't have the player base for that, I believe. So let's just call it this. Solo duo at best. If you want to stack up, play quick play. If you want to stack up and be serious, play a private match scrim. If you're playing ELO for ranked, playing ranked ELO, you get the victory, whether you're Jim Bob 1 and you're silver, and you've somehow chainsawed your way through the smoke and you've scrapped your way and you've tried your very best and somehow you've been the part of a winning team, you get 50 points. Congratulations, you won the game. You must have done something in that game to contribute to the victory. Now, if it was a fluke win and you got carried, well, the next game you're probably not going to win. And then you're going to lose those 50 points. And if you go 50-50 all day, because you're an average player that sometimes loses, sometimes gets carried, you're going to stay where you are. If you're a good player, you gain a flat 50 points for the victory, and you keep gaining a flat 50 for the victory, you must be doing something right. I went 47-7. I'm not saying I played perfectly in those games. There were some shocking games. Some games I got carried, some games I had a stacked team, sometimes the other team quit. But I must have been doing something right to win 47 games and only lose 7. Yet here I am with the exact same MMR. I'm gaining and losing randomly. Nothing's changed on my account. And if anything, I have gone down in rank. So technically, I started the day in Masters. I think I started a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in Masters. In Diamond 5% or something like that. Won a couple games, got into Masters. Then all of a sudden I went 47 wins and 7 losses. And now I'm mid-Diamond 3, which doesn't seem right. So I think the rank system does need to be worked at, definitely, and it is a frustration, and I understand where you're coming from. So let me know in the comments below what your experience has been with the ranking system. Do you like my ideas? As always, I try to do this a lot. I've worked out yesterday, I've streamed 750 days of 900 with a 4-hour plus stream. I've also made all of this content. It's all available to you for free. If you believe I'm worth supporting and you think I'm, you know, fun to watch or decent to watch and you want to see more from me, please do support. Today is the start of a new content goal. If you have enjoyed the content from February to March on the channel and you have the ability to tip in a coffee, throw a Twitch Prime my way or a Twitch sub, it really does enable me to do what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you, right now my PC is kind of on its last legs. I'm trying to manually spin my fans up, my graphics card is really old. My last content goal I put into the camera, I put into just generally the health of the stream, and obviously allowing me to put in as much time as I do. You know, even little things like gifting my community subs I've been trying to do more frequently. All that comes from the content goal, so if you enjoy what I do, please do think about supporting me, because I'm not a big channel. I don't have sponsors, I don't get advert money. I just do this as a passion. I'd like it to become more than a passion. So if you do have the ability to support me and you do enjoy watching my content and you look forward to the videos and you're able to, I do very much appreciate everyone that's supporting me, because without you I just wouldn't be able to do this. So thanks very much. That's me signing off. Hopefully you enjoyed that video.